After walking out on the Linden Commission of Inquiry yesterday, Attorney at Law Nigel Hughes returned this afternoon to sum up his case before the Commission. All the tension that existed in the Commission hearing on Thursday no longer existed, as Hughes, in beginning his summation, said he never intended to offend the Commission or the witness by his statement. Hughes quickly got down to business to make the point that it was the police who did the shooting at Linden, and the police that's responsible for the death of the 3 Linden protesters.
The uncontroverted evidence is that none of the witnesses who testified before the commission said they saw anyone other than police persons or policemen armed with a shotgun. That's a fact, including the police. They themselves said that they did not see anyone armed with a shotgun. Superintendent Todd testified that he discharged several rounds after having taken them from various persons who were in the line. That also is uncontroverted. Mr. Todd testified that he fired into the ground every time he discharged the shotgun. If you take everybody's evidence, and I want to start with the evidence most favorable to the police, which is the evidence of the officer who investigated, who went to the scene on the morning of the 19th, who said that he had been told by Todd that he had fired ricochet, and he went to look on the ground and found no evidence of shotgun discharges to the ground.
And the attorney pointed to the fact that not a single witness testified about seeing anyone else but the police with a weapon on that day.
Apart from the absence of any single witness saying that they saw anybody other than the police with a shotgun, the facts are not consistent. And when I say facts, I mean the credible facts are not consistent with somebody standing in the middle of a crowd with a shotgun, assuming he's not seen, the shotgun is not seen, and discharging it and not injuring several people who are immediately around him with multiple pellet injuries from a single shot. I don't know if I'm making that clear. I think Commissioner Knight had some specific insight into this. Of course, when the cartridge is discharged, there's a circular pattern. And of course, the closer to the shotgun you are, the more likely you are to have more pellets hit you. The significant aspect of the scientific evidence of Dr. Robinson is to get a single pellet, given the pattern that existed, you had to have been at least a minimum of 30 yards away. It is my respectful submission that it would strain the credibility of the commission to find not only was there this phantom gunman with a shotgun who was not seen by anybody, even if you wish to say it was only 100 people present, not seen by a single person. One can discount that on the basis that eyewitness testimony quite often is not reliable, or the lack of eyewitness testimony may not be reliable. But the scientific facts are that he could not have discharged a shotgun with 00 cartridges and not strike several people if he was in the middle of the crowd. It's not possible.
Attorney Basil Williams, in his summation just before Hughes, made similar points and said it was quite clear that there was an attempt to derail the protest from day one.
Around 3 o'clock on the 18th, there was an emergency meeting at the president, and Mr. Roy has confirmed that on the 18th, wherein the Prime Minister and the Presidential Advisor on Governance, Madam Teixeira, were summoned to see the President to join Dr. Luncheon, the head of the Presidential Secretariat, the President and the Prime Minister there, along with Minister Robeson Ben. In Ghana, his call name is Thor, the mighty Thor, the man with the hammer. And I'm very respectfully suggesting that that was immediately in the aftermath of what had occurred at the bridge in around the midday. And we are contending that they were discussing the events in Linden. That meeting was called to do exactly that.
Williams said what took place at Linden on July 18 will never be forgotten. A tragic incident and a most peaceful day, he said.
And so in furtherance of that plan, we contending that Mr. Hicken breached his duty when he ought to have cleared the bridge in bright daylight at high noon. He ought to have cleared, his duty was to clear that bridge because he engaged the people on the bridge. He engaged what he called the leaders. And he ought not have just taken everyone and returned to the station, only to come back under cover of darkness or approaching darkness. And we're contending that the reason that he didn't do that was in furtherance of a plan to ensure that they would derail the rest of the day, 5-day protest. And we're saying that there was a coordinated blackout. You had to be in position to do that, for that blackout to come at that appointed time when they went back to that bridge. And a lot of shooting took place during that blackout.
The attorneys will provide the commission with written submissions over the next 3 weeks. The commissioners will be back in January to address the issue of compensation, and their report should come just after then. For Capital News, Gordon Mosley.